Manchester United dominated Arsenal in every stat that mattered except the scoreboard. One set piece, and our first Premier League game ended in defeat. Now the pressure is already on, and Fulham are waiting this weekend. Hello there, and welcome to Devil's Roundup's 8th Deep Dive. We're Abby and Luke, based in Australia, and we're incredibly excited to have you with us.
Great to be here.
If you're just joining us, subscribing, make sure you catch every United preview and review. So yeah, the Arsenal game last Sunday, August 17th. It's had a few days to sink in, but it still feels strange.
Strange is a good word for it. Perplexing, maybe.
Yeah, perplexing works. Because you look at the stat sheet from Old Trafford, and it just screams United dominance, doesn't it? 61% possession, 22 shots. Arsenal only had 9.
22 shots is a lot.
It is. But then you look at the actual scoreboard, 1-0, defeat. Our first game, it's just, yeah, hard to figure out.
It really was one of those paradoxical defeats. And what's quite telling, I think, is how Arsenal got that win. They just lean right into what they do best.
The set piece.
Exactly. A single lethal set piece. 13th minute. Declan Rice puts in, well, it was a devilish in-swinging corner, wasn't it?
It was perfect delivery.
Perfect delivery. And then Altay Bayindir. Look, he was a tactical choice to start him over Onana, we know that. But he just couldn't collect it cleanly. There was a bit of physical pressure, maybe a push, but ultimately he spilled it, and Calafiori was right there to head it in from close range.
Right on the doorstep.
Yeah. And it just shows, for a team challenging for titles, that kind of psychological strength, winning, even when you're not playing particularly well in open play, that's important.
But, okay, hang on. We know Arsenal are brilliant at set pieces, 15 goals from them last season. We know we've struggled defensively with them, conceded the most set-piece goals in 2024.
Yeah, it's a known issue.
So how does the plan, Amorim's plan, still leave us that exposed? What went wrong there beyond just Bayindir's mistake? Because it feels like, despite all the talk about a new system, this old weakness is still biting us.
That's the frustrating part, isn't it? You dominate possession, you have all those shots, 22 shots.
And 0 goals. It felt like lots of half chances, maybe. Low-quality effort.
Precisely. And if you look at the expected goals, the XG data, it really spells it out. It's quite stark, actually.
Okay.
In that first half, our 11 shots, they only generated 0.62 expected goals. Now, Arsenal, they had just 5 shots in that half.
Right.
But their XG was higher, 0.8. So that tells you our quantity of shots, it just didn't translate into quality chances.
So the system gets us there, but the final ball or the finish.
Exactly. The attacking frustration, it wasn't about not getting into dangerous areas. It was about what we did or didn't do when we got there. The killer edge just wasn't there.
And it's tough when you see the ratings. Bayindir gets a 4 out of 10. That's brutal. And that error was so costly, the tactical gamble didn't pay off that time.
No, it didn't.
But there were some real positives, especially up front. Matthias Cunha, he got a 7.5. I thought he was excellent.
He worked his socks off.
Absolutely tireless. And forced that incredible save from Raya, probably the save of the weekend, right?
Yeah, it was a top save. Cunha's runs looked dangerous. He was always trying to make something happen, a real spark.
And Brian Mbeumo, too, another 7.5. He carried on that preseason promise, didn't he?
He really did. Looked a genuine threat. Tested Raya with that overhead kick, then the powerful header. Very active.
Yeah, you felt like on another day, he gets a goal. Maybe even 2.
And even Bruno mentioned it afterwards, said both Cunha and Mbeumo made a good first impression, that they were a threat. So yeah, despite the result, you can definitely see some optimism with those new attackers.
And defensively, it wasn't all bad either, was it? I mean, aside from the set-piece laps, Luke Shaw got a 6.5, kept Saka pretty quiet.
Yeah, he did well.
De Ligt was a 7, looked a strong presence, important in the build-up. Lenny Yoro, also a 7, actually led the team in touches and defensive actions, which is interesting.
It shows we weren't being completely overrun.
No, not at all. But ultimately, the story defensively was about Arsenal's guys. Raya, player of the match, 7 saves. Saliba, an 8 out of 10. Gabriel, 7.5. They were just immense at the back.
They really were. Their ability to just block, tackle, and get in the way, especially Saliba, was probably the difference. They just refused to let us score.
And it felt like the fine margins went against us, too. Dorgu hitting the post after a good run.
Yeah, that was close.
And then that controversial penalty shot right at the end. Cunha and Saliba.
Ah, yes, the late drama. Dermot Gallagher reckoned there was contact, but probably not enough for VAR to overturn the on-field decision. You know, not every bit of contact in the box is a foul.
Still frustrating when you're desperate for an equalizer.
Oh, absolutely. But those are the breaks sometimes.
Amorim, the manager, he seemed quite proud of the performance afterwards. Said it was completely different to last season, showed we can compete with anyone, even Arsenal, despite losing.
Which is true, in a way. The performance was different. More control, more attacking intent.
But is there a danger there? That we have these different performances, but they keep leading to the same result. How does he stop that becoming the narrative? That's the worry from a fan perspective, I think.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Turning performance into points.
Okay, so that Arsenal game, it wasn't just a loss, it felt like. Like a warning sign, maybe?
How so?
Well, dominating like that, but not scoring. Now we go to Craven Cottage this Sunday, August 24th, and suddenly it feels like there's huge pressure already. Game 2.
Yeah, the stakes feel weirdly high for this early. We're sitting 15th, 0 points. Fulham are 9th. They've got a point on the board.
And they got that point in dramatic fashion, didn't they? Rodrigo Muniz, 96th-minute equalizer against Brighton. 1-1 draw.
Exactly. That kind of late goal, it just injects belief, doesn't it? Proper momentum booster for them.
Definitely. So they'll be buzzing, and we're heading there needing something.
Which leads to that big question. Can this new tactical approach, Amorim's system, find that clinical edge, especially against a team like Fulham, who are, well, they're very well drilled, very pragmatic under Marco Silva.
Historically, this is a fixture we've dominated, right?
Oh, massively. Across all competitions, 93 meetings, we've won 58, Fulham only 15.
Yeah.
Premier League record is even stronger. 36 games, 26 wins for us, only 4 defeats. You think of the goals. Van Nistelrooy got 8, Ronaldo 7.
Rooney.
Wayne Rooney, yeah, top scorer in this fixture for us with 10 goals. The history's definitely on our side.
And there's always a but in football. History isn't everything, is it? We know that painful lesson.
Absolutely not. And the crucial recent memory here is Fulham winning 2-1 at Old Trafford back in February 2024.
I remember that one. Horrible day.
It was their first league win at our place since, December 2009? That result completely throws out the idea that history guarantees anything. It showed they can beat us, even at home.
And even last season, the 2024-25 season, our wins against them were really tight, weren't they?
Yeah, 2 very narrow 1-0 victories. One at Old Trafford back in August 24 that had the controversial VAR call overturning an Amandalo goal.
Right, I remember that.
And then the one at Craven Cottage in January 25, decided by a deflected Lisandro Martinez shot.
So scraping wins, it just highlights that struggle we had last season to score goals, that lack of a killer edge, which, explains the massive summer spending. We needed more firepower.
We absolutely did. By the way, if you're enjoying this discussion, sharing it with fellow Red Devils is a great way to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you think. So this Sunday, it's Amorim versus Silva, a real tactical battle brewing.
It really is. Amorim's system, for us, we know the basics now. High defensive line, fluid buildup, trying to play through the middle, usually a 4-2-3-1 or maybe that 3-4-3 shape we saw.
And that third man principle to break lines.
Exactly, using quick combinations to bypass pressure. But as we saw against Arsenal, the risk is that high line can be exposed, and, well, we're still searching for that consistent finishing touch.
And Fulham under Silva. They play nice football, but they're defensively solid, too.
Very solid. Masters of pragmatic, disciplined organization. They often sit in a compact 4-4-2 mid-block. They want to protect the center, force you wide.
Weak and predictable.
Yeah. And their big strength is how quickly they can win the ball back and hit you on the counter. They're quick, incisive. It makes them almost a perfect tactical foil for our style, which wants to dominate possession high up the pitch.
And Silva's got that knack for getting the best out of players, too, hasn't he? Like Alex Iwobi.
Yeah, he's revitalized a few careers. Makes them dangerous because they have threats all over. It's a really intriguing contrast in styles.
So where's the game going to be won or lost? What are the key battlegrounds?
I think the biggest one, the most crucial, is our high defensive line against their counterattack. Amorim wants us to press high, squeeze the pitch, but that leaves space in behind, and Fulham have players like Iwobi, Adama Traore potentially, guys with real pace who are perfect for exploiting that kind of space with direct balls over the top. That's a massive risk for us.
Okay, that's number one. What else?
Then you've got our fluid front three, Cunha Mbeumo, maybe Šeško starts, against Fulham's center backs Anderson and Bassi. Can our movement pull them out of position? Or will their discipline and partnership keep things tight?
That'll be key to whether we create those quality chances we missed against Arsenal.
Exactly. And thirdly, it's our build-up through the middle versus their midfield block. We want to play through Bruno, through the center. Fulham, with guys like Sander Berge and Sasha Lukic, will try to clog those lanes, force us wide, make us impatient.
So a real midfield scrap expected.
Yeah, controlling the middle of the park will be vital for both teams.
Okay, let's talk players to watch then. For us, who needs a big game?
Well, building on the Arsenal game, Bryan Mbeumo, he was so active making those inside runs. If he can just add that final finish, he could be massive.
Yeah, find the net this time.
Same goes for Cunha. Tireless work rate, dangerous runs, good link-up play. Needs to be more clinical when the chances come.
And Benjamin Šeško. You think he starts?
I think he has to be close. That 30-minute cameo against Arsenal, he showed glimpses, didn't he? Looked like he could be that focal point we need. This feels like the game to give him his first start.
Makes sense. And Bruno, obviously key, even in that slightly deeper role.
Absolutely critical. Still the main link, still the creative hub, and vital on set pieces too, both attacking and defending, hopefully.
Hopefully. We've still got a few injury worries too, haven't we? Martinez still recovering from the ACL.
Yeah, Leach is still out. And there were knocks for Joshua Zirkzee and Nusayr Mazraoui mentioned, so we'll need to see if they're fit.
Okay. And on the Fulham side, who are their main threats we need to watch out for?
Rodrigo Muniz, definitely. Riding high after that late goal against Brighton. He'll be confident.
An informed striker is always dangerous.
Always. Alex Iwobi on the wing. He's consistently a threat, great energy, dangerous on the counter. And that center-back pairing, Anderson and Bassi, their performance will be crucial for Fulham in trying to contain our attack.
And their keeper, Leno. Experienced guy.
Yeah, Premier League proven. Reliable, usually puts in a strong performance, gives them that defensive stability, which, well, contrasts a bit with our keeper situation after the Arsenal game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does highlight that a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so wrapping this all up then, what does it all mean for Sunday? What's the bottom line heading to Craven Cottage?
I think the bottom line is Amorim's system, it clearly shows promise. We can dominate games, create chances, but right now it's still flawed.
Flawed how?
That lack of clinical finishing is costing us dearly, and those defensive errors, especially from set pieces, are just, well, they're killers.
And Fulham feel like the kind of team to exploit that.
They feel like the ideal counterpuncher, honestly. They have a clear tactical identity under Silva. They're resilient, they know how to defend deep, and crucially, they transition fast and they punish mistakes. They are built to frustrate us and hit us on the break.
So it's our attacking potential versus their efficiency.
Pretty much. It's a test of our, let's say, theoretical attacking superiority against Fulham's very pragmatic, very battle-tested efficiency. Especially in those moments when possession changes hands, those transitional moments will be absolutely key.
The pressure's really on Amorim then, isn't it? To find that clinical edge up front and sort out those defensive issues fast. Otherwise,
these promising performances just become frustrating defeats. That pattern of played well, lost anyway is one we absolutely cannot afford to fall into this season.
Yeah, no more glorious failures. We need points.
So the big question for the listener, maybe, will our impressive underlying stats, the possession, the shots, finally translate into actual goals and points on Sunday? Or is the beautiful game going to get ugly again if we can't find that final decisive touch?
A slightly worrying thought to end on. Hope you enjoyed our breakdown. Don't forget to subscribe for next week's preview, and sharing this deep dive with friends helps us keep the Devil's Roundup going.
Cheers, everyone. Catch you next time.